So, as a man raised by a single mother, you've probably been misled when it comes to attracting women, and your dating life has likely suffered as a result. Now, you might be at the point where you've had your own realizations and your dating life has improved to the point where you're now fulfilled. Or maybe you're still in that phase where you're figuring things out and you're not quite where you want to be with your dating life. Today, I'm going to cover some of the biggest lies that single moms tend to tell their sons about attracting women. My name is Bogdan, and on this channel, I help men overcome the lack of a father figure and improve their mental health and overall lead more fulfilling lives. We also have an online school community that you can join using the link in the description. So, the first lie that's often told is that you need to be her friend first. Now, this will kill all chances of attraction. You see, women are very quick to categorize men into different boxes, whether that be friend, one night stand, or potential boyfriend or husband. And it can happen in as little as 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds. So chances are you've been in a situation where you thought things were going well with a woman. Maybe she was messaging you back regularly. You're making her laugh over the course of weeks or even months. And suddenly you hear that she slept with so and so person, or she's now in a relationship with somebody else. And you just left feeling confused as to why it happened. It happened to me. I can think back to a case where I was 16 or 17. I was very into this girl. I was still in school. And we actually did go on a date, but I was just acting in such a platonic way. Again, learning from my mother directly. And she ended up friendzoning me, and that really hurt. Cried for a couple of days, and I really vowed to myself that I would change how I approach women, and that was really my big moment of realization. So you may have had one or several of these experiences. A good way for approaching this is start as you mean to go on. It's a good quote. If you see a woman and you desire her sexually, romantically, you need to act like it, whether that's with your tone of voice, your language, with your body language, the way you interact. And sure, she might say no when you ask for her number or you ask her out on a date, but then at least you know very quickly whether or not she's attracted to you. And you're not going to spend the next weeks, months, or even years pursuing something that's not actually going anywhere. And the last thing you want to do is you want to be in a position where she comes to you for consolation after being dumped by a guy that she slept with, and you're just there as a shoulder to cry on before another guy comes and gets her. Have some respect for yourself. It's really frustrating that this narrative is still out there, being pushed by single moms and Hollywood as well. So it's not just mothers. The second lie is that expressing your sexuality is bad. Now, it's likely that your mother was quite weird about sex, and perhaps she influenced you to believe that having sexual desire is somehow bad and should be kept to yourself and subdued as much as possible. So you may have gone around your relationships with women trying to be nice and hiding the fact that you wanted to sleep with them. And it's likely that as a result, you ended up being friend zoned, to go back to the first point. The thing is, women love a man who is honest about his intentions and who goes after what he wants without shame. So if you want a woman sexually, you need to communicate that in your interactions with her, with your nonverbals, with your tone of voice. And she needs to get the vibe that this man has the intention to be romantically involved with me, as opposed to just being a friend. Now, obviously, things should always be consensual, and we shouldn't go around, approaching women and acting like horny weirdos. But you need to realize that your sexual desire isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something natural and something to be embraced. And you being able to express that in a healthy manner to women actually will get you a lot of attraction and respect, as opposed to backlash. And the third lie is that being emotional is a good thing. Your mother may have drilled this idea into you that you should be open and vulnerable with your emotions around women, and that if your woman is indeed a good woman, then she'll support you with whatever you're going through. And if she doesn't do that, then she's toxic and she's subhuman and you should leave her. Now, granted, it's not just our single mothers pushing us to be more vulnerable and open with our emotions. It's also the medium, increasingly. So you may have given in and followed this advice, and maybe your woman really was happy that you were being so transparent in the moment, and maybe she really was comforting you. But what about after that? What happened with your sex life? Did it decline? Maybe she just wasn't as into you day to day. Maybe she wasn't quite as respectful. Maybe she was going over your word and not really caring about what you had to say. Or maybe things went so far that it led to a breakup, and or worse, she ended up cheating on you. You see, women like a man who is in control, who has these things handled. That's when they can truly be in their feminine energy and blossom. They don't want a man who is overwhelmed by life. And you breaking down in front of her shows her exactly that. It shows that you can't cope with the things that are happening to you. And if you can't be her rock because you're breaking down, she feels less secure. And when she feels less secure, her trust in you goes down. And when she trusts you less, she respects you less. And when she respects you less, she's less attracted to you. And the thing is that women do this unconsciously. It's just in their nature. So we shouldn't even be mad at them, to be honest, for reacting to this in the way they do. Now, I'm not saying you should bottle up everything and suffer in silence. And really, by all means, if you are going through something hard, then do open up about it with your friends, with your family members. I like to confide in my male friends, particularly when I'm going through something, just because from a man's perspective, they will understand exactly how our thought process works because they're also men. But really, you can definitely confide in people and you shouldn't suffer by yourself. But when you're around your woman, you should practice some stoicism. You should be that rock. You should be that guy who isn't phased or doesn't appear to be phased by the problems that life throws at him and really take those problems in stride. Be that superhero. And her attraction and respect for you will only grow. So these are some of the biggest lies that I've seen single mothers drill into their sons and that I've also experienced myself. If you can relate to any of this, then I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And once again, if you are interested in joining our online community, then the link is going to be down in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.